Do all enlightened people have to be rich and successful? Hello, this is Chris speaking, Wake Up. And I often get asked the question, do all enlightened people have to be rich and successful? Because that is a trend that is often transported recently, that if you're enlightened, then you can manifest anything, or the universe will give you everything because you're one with the universe. So if you want money, you get money. If you want success, you get success. If you want a car or a house, the universe will give you a car or a house, whatever you need. The trouble is, when you're enlightened, you don't need anything anymore and you don't desire anything anymore. All this manifestation stuff is based on a burning desire. If you desire something, then you'll get it. Or if you desire something but then let go, or if you feel the clear need but then let go, are not attached to it, then you will get it. But if you're not attached to it, really the most of the enlightened people, they are sitting in a cave somewhere and you never heard about them. The very, very few enlightened people who go public, like Jed McKenna or Tony Parsons or Eckhart Tolle, but Jed McKenna, even no one knows how he looks like. So the only two right now we know about are Tony Parsons and Eckhart Tolle, and they're probably not rich, they're well off, but why would they want to be rich? Let alone successful. Successful in what? Successful in amassing material things, in having status, fame. What for? In our society nowadays we have a totally warped and sick definition of success. Successful. Success in what? What makes you successful? Successful is if you don't have any problems, basically. It's successful if you have enough to eat, if you have a roof over your head, if you don't need to freeze in winter, if you're healthy. That's success. Not to have a 12-hour high roller business job and earn $1 million a year. That's just stressful, not successful. Sure, it's nice to have some money and to have a nice house, or maybe two, and a nice car, or maybe two. But this is mostly fate, I have to tell you. Anyone who has that can say that he or she has gained it by the universe fulfilling his or her wishes, but it's just fate. Show me one person, one so-called enlightened person who was poor all his or her life and then changed it around by wishing for it, by manifesting it. Doesn't happen. Never heard of it, never known anyone like it. Most enlightened people, they're not poor, but there are even some people. So anything is possible. But to say that being rich and successful is a sign for being enlightened is the usual warped first-tier attitude. It's something only someone can say who has never had a longer moment of consciousness. It's what our society wants us to believe. It's the rat race. We run and run and run to get so-called success and fame and money and so on. That's how you lose yourself, not how you find yourself. That's not how you let go. And enlightenment is letting go of everything, everything. Some people say, I never had a lot of money. I want the experience of being rich first before I let go of everything and maybe live in a cave in the mountains. I want to have the experience of being rich. That's okay, if you want to have that experience, but it has nothing to do with the path to enlightenment. Enlightenment is really let go, let go, let go, let go. Surrender, surrender, surrender. And that's why so few people get enlightened. Used to be 1 in 10 million, now it's more, but still in a society where money is the thing that everyone wants to have. The poster, the billboard of success and a good life. You will not get anywhere. Only if you let go, and then you surrender to fate, to the universe, how much money and riches you will get once you surrendered. Once you let go of the possibility of being rich. But if you're lusting after it all the time, it's just an attachment. It's an identification, and that will be an obstacle sooner or later, probably is already. I'm not saying it's bad to be rich, I'm just saying wanting to be rich is an obstacle. And once you're enlightened, you may become rich and maybe not. Who cares?
Really, that is the main question. A teacher of mine asked me this several times. Her name was Nero, and she asked me, who cares? And it's not to be some condescending thing. It's just a real question. It's a serious question. Who is there who cares if you're rich or not? If there's still someone, some feeling, some sensation in you, some identification with a person who wants to be rich and successful, then there's some more surrendering to do. Enlightenment can happen when you don't care, when there's no more anyone left to care, if you're living like a bum under the bridge or like a queen in a castle. But this whole idea to wanting to be a celebrity is just the usual ego mindfuck. And sure, there are people who got rich by selling courses how to get rich, but that's just a sales pitch, even rhymes. Ask yourself, why do you want to get rich, and who is it in you who wants to get rich, for whom that is important? Sure, it's preferable to lead a comfortable life rather than doing wage slavery, but is that really up to you? Can you order the universe or the divine to do something for you? Is it really the job of the divine to utter your every wish and then fulfill it? Or is it rather the other way around? Once you really relinquish your sense of ego, is it that you can hear the wish, the flow of the divine of the universe, and then you just go with the flow? And even if it's the plan, the wish of the divine, of the universe for you to die right now, so what? If there's someone left in you who cares if you live or you die, there's some surrendering to do. In our 10,000-year-old agriculture culture, we have this megalomaniac idea implanted in our brains somehow that we are the masters of the universe, that we are like gods, or that we are gods, which is of course not completely untrue. We are the divine just like everything else is the divine, but the blade of grass next to you, or the frog, or the wind is also the divine, neither more nor less than you. It is important to let go of the idea that you as an individual are somehow more important than anyone else or anything else. And if it is your fate, then you will get rich at some point. And if not, then not. Who is it in you who feels the need for a mansion and 2 Lamborghinis? Check that out. And you will find that everything is coming from self-deprecation and a low self-esteem. And we have been taught in our societies that to get rid of this low self-esteem and self-deprecation, we can fill this void with material wealth that will make us happy. And when has that ever worked for anyone? Sure, if you get a new toy of any kind, you will be happy for some time. But it will not be permanent, and so will anything else not cause a permanent happiness. A new trend now is to call awakening and enlightenment and other stages of consciousness fundamental well-being. That's another load of crap. Enlightenment is something beyond duality. If you're after fundamental well-being, then you're not after enlightenment. When you're enlightened, there is no more good and bad. The reason why enlightened people have this relaxed atmosphere or ambience around them is because they don't care anymore. There's no one left who cares. There is no more attachment and no more identification with anything, least of all themselves. It has been one of the aims of this channel from the beginning to give you another perspective. Because the world is full now of all kinds of motivational self-help crap. You don't need to be motivated. You don't need any self-help. You don't need any positive thinking, personal development, and so on. These are just stalling techniques. Distractions from the real thing. And what is the real thing? That's for you to find out. No one can tell you what the real thing is. You have to find it out by really going deep inside. The only way is inside. Nothing from the outside will help you. Least of all some self-help or getting rich course. Because it is not about turning your self-deprecation into self-love. Sure, it feels better to love yourself than to hate yourself. That's definitely an advantage in life. But enlightenment is neither this nor that. It's letting go of all this. There really is no self to be hated or loved. But you can allow universal love to flood your body-mind thingy. And that will only happen if there is as little self in there as possible. The last worry you should have is if you're rich or not. Sure, if you have to worry every day about getting enough to eat and stuff, that's different. But if you're more or less well off and your basics are covered, the least worry you should have is getting rich. What you should worry about is what is reality? What is the self? If you want to worry about anything at all, best thing of course is not to think. Just look inside. Observe what's happening there. Is there anything happening there? What is unhappiness? Where's unhappiness coming from? Right now is a very good time to ask yourself these questions. Be a bit of a recluse and use this strange winter time and these strange political circumstances for introspection and stillness. Which is exactly what I will do the next few days or weeks. So I'm not sure when the next video will come, but there are enough videos out there. And if you haven't watched the very old videos from April and May, then you can do this during the next few days and weeks. In a few months, this channel will be already 1 year old. Can't believe it. And from the beginning, the main message of this channel has been and still is, look inside. There's only one important thing, and that you will only be able to find inside, never outside. And what it is exactly, no one can tell you. It's kind of individual. But the commonality, the gist of it is everything you have believed and thought and felt so far is probably not true. It's just a belief system, just a belief set, and you can replace this belief set with a more positive belief, or you can just let it go, throw all belief sets overboard, which is my personal recommendation. But do as you like, enjoy the time, and look inside. Thank you for watching, listening. Thank you for joining me on Facebook or Patreon, and thank you for sharing the videos with your friends, and see you soon.